Imagine what it would be like if all the stories of your life, locked behind trauma and dreams, all of a sudden one day awakened. Well, that's what's happened to me. Welcome to my vlog, where I record my journey to publishing my first book. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the vlog. I'm sorry I took a week off. I've been working on trying to get the thought process going and focused into the back into book two. And I will tell you about that today. So today I'll talk about how I have gotten back into writing of book two. Then I'm going to give you an introduction to Detonate book two. Then I'll give you some updates on where we are with book one, some nice new updates on the cover. And then I'm going to share with you at the end of this video some Revolt on Prime teasers that I'm slowly building with video. I have some ideas, um, I, but we'll see. Welcome back to the vlog. So what happened is that I wrote 32,000 words in book two and then stopped. And then I had to go back and do my third rewrite of book one to get everything ready to go to Joanne. I got all my beta readers input in onto it. And so that took me a while because I took from 45,000 to 65,000 words for book one. And then when that was done, then I took a vacation and a little bit of a break. So I was about 2 or 3 months away from writing on book two. And I had a problem getting back into it. My story on book two had drifted in my mind, so I had to find it again, go through all my notes. I also had to plan out because when I was at that point in the book, I was starting to get lost with my story. And actually, his break gave me a chance to find and be inspired for a lot of new things. Okay? So I went to Copilot and I asked for some help to get my inspiration back, and it said, be creative every day. So I do some art, do some writing, do some poetry, write myself a letter to book two, because book two is a personality. I have a relationship with it, just like I have with book one. So I had to get back into my communication with myself in book two. I wrote that letter, and then I read everything. I read the book two, all 17 scenes that I had written. And that was a good start. Then I went with all the new ideas I had into the remaining scenes I still had to write. And I rebuilt a brand new scene directory, all the way 30 through 33 scenes. And that has given me the inspiration. And I was happy to sit down, and I have this week created and written scene 18. So I'm back into the book. And now let me introduce you to Detonate. Detonate is book two of the Wardens of the Dawn. It happens on the home world of the Dark End Veradoria. It's a story of a leader who's lost his faith and must regain it to lead his people to true freedom from the terrifying transcender, the Baron. And all the while, he's being hunted by the horror of the Gun Wraith. Galdar Maj Bryant, Galdar being the prince, is the son of the king. The king freed the people from the transcenders. He awoken all the people with his power, and that changed things because the people were all enslaved in sleeper pods and they were living full lives in the dream. And they had everything. They had family, they had roles, they didn't even look like they didn't know what a darken is. And then all of a sudden thrusted into reality, they all awoken. And confusion happened because the planet got used to them, and now they were gone for a long time. So now the planet has changed, and they have to find their way in the planet. Bryant, he couldn't get over the trauma of losing his wife and children by being awoken because they were part of the dream. They were not ever darkened. And he went a little bit into the dark side and he took unethical steps. The transcender, he found a transcender robot and he found the programming of his ex or his wife. And she put the personality of the wife into the transcender robot. That caused problems and forced him to be exiled from the people because they wanted nothing to do with transcenders. And there is an exarch, someone there trying to take over. And this was the opportunity he had. Now, Bryant and his robot wife are on the run, and they're being hunted. They're being hunted by an agent of dark, the Gunwraith. And here my heroes come into the story, and they have to find him, help him find his faith, and restore him to the role of leader, all the while confronting and saving him from the Gunwraith. The Gunwraith. This is an interesting story. He was a human once, and then he found a haunted gun, and the gun stole him, and he became possessed by the gun. And the gun needed him to hunt, because the gun feeds on souls, and he forever is stuck being the slave to the gun. Wyatt Davids must awaken and get help to get free from his demon. Is there anyone who can help him? Well, here are our heroes. From book one, I'm reusing and brought back the warden of psychic, or the psychic warden, Rick James, and the warden of life, Billy Malone. They too, these two, are going to help all our Darkins to progress in their story. And what's interesting is Billy is going into the dreaming world, whereas Rick is going to deal with the world of the Darkin. And so they have separate stories that are aligned, and they can communicate with each other. Psychic warden. And here are some of the forms that Billy has to take. And now for some updates. Revolt on Prime. It's still with Joanne. She's still editing, but she's had to take a couple of weeks. And we are grateful for Joanne for all the work that she's done till now, and she will do later, but she had to take a break from it. Chris, on the other hand, is working very hard, and the next slide will show you some of the cover art advances that he's doing on the big poster. On book two, I am now at 34,000 words. Scene 18 is completed. I have a new list of scenes, and I'm very happy that I'm writing again. So at the end of last week, Chris gave me this picture, giving me an idea of where he's worked on. He painted in more of the tower, and he's given life and finalized the Encyclidian here. What a wonderful picture. Um, he's also gave more detail. What he wants to do and what we've agreed to is that he's going to make the cities look more like cities. And here in this next slide, this is what we see. He put some whales in for me. There's a shark over here with tentacles that's flowing around. You'll be able to see the the city now has layers and levels and lights and stuff, and it's coming along wonderfully. And he also said he's painting even more tonight. So next week we'll have a more up-to-date one. Thank you, Chris. We really appreciate the hard work you're putting in on this. So here we got, this section is for teasers. I've built about 3 different types of teasers, giving us an opportunity to experiment with videos and AI and see what we can make out of it. I just want to share with you what I've built. This will be the conclusion of this vlog, these teasers. And then next week I'll be back and I'll tell you more about the characters and tell you more about how much more I've written. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey, and remember to like and subscribe and tell a friend.
Imagine a world where the sea's most elusive creature holds the power to decide humanity's fate. On the shimmering edge of New Madrid's colossal glass dome, an octopus perches in silence. As it gazes inward, its unblinking eyes catch fragments of life. Scientists racing through corridors, children with luminous backpacks, engineers fine-tuning gravity fields. Life thrives within this city, a sanctuary among 32, known as Prime. But beyond the safety of the dome, the ocean pulses with secrets. What would you think if I told you this octopus is more than an observer? Its thoughts ripple with intelligence, calculating, curious, maybe even dangerous. New Madrid's citizens remain unaware that beneath their engineered paradise, the tide is turning. Tentacles splay against the dome, reading microvibrations, decoding the beat of every footstep, every whispered conspiracy. The fabric of Prime is not as seamless as its constructors boast. Buried beneath technology and daily routine, there is unrest, a collective tension waiting for the match to strike. In the city's heart, ambitions clash, alliances shift, and ancient instincts awaken. But the octopus watches from the other side, marking the quiet moments before the storm. Is the real threat outside the dome, or lurking within? As Prime braces for the unknown, remember, some revolutions don't begin with a shout, but with a silent watcher pressing gently, deliberately, against the edge of our world. Revolt on Prime is coming. Are you ready to see who will change the course of humanity, creature or citizen?
Prepare to journey beyond the stars. A new adventure awaits. In the vastness of space, secrets lie hidden on the planet Prime. A spark of rebellion is about to ignite. Heroes will rise. The fate of Prime will never be the same. Are you ready to join the fight? Revolt on Prime, coming soon.